Uh, Emile, for accepting to have a chat with me about all kinds of subjects. MESK doesn't need any introduction all over the world. So it's a privilege to have you here to talk about life, talk about mindset, talk about performance, talk about my book a little bit, and talk about sports, which we haven't had the opportunity to enjoy for a while now because of the lockdown. So let me start by asking you questions. So I welcome you, Emile, to this short interview.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay. So to start, you're very well known in the community, in football, in sports in general, all over the world. You started as a 9-year-old. I've been reading your book as well. The book, Emile even score. SK even score. I don't like to type it, but yeah. So you started as a 9-year-old. What sort of mindset helped you get to the top of the game?
Yeah, I started at 9. If I go back a little bit to there and say, like, when I was 9, I was very quick. I was good at athletics. I was only slim, so I was really good at athletics. I was really good at sprinting, jumping, that sort of stuff. Took to sports very well. School wasn't necessarily something that I excelled in, because if I look back now, it's probably because of the way that I was being taught, not because of my mind. It was probably the way that I was being taught. But I loved sports, and at 9, well, even before that, I just loved athletics. But then at 9, I changed school, and I think I was about 7 actually when I changed school, and I went to another school in another area where we moved from, and they had a big open field, the football pitches, athletics track, long jump pit. And that is when football took over athletics, and I became very, very good, very, very knowledgeable about football in even at a young age, and just loved it. Football is one of those sports that, regardless of the weather, the time, anything, you can put down 2 t-shirts, get a ball, and 10, 12, 20, 30 of you can go and play. And that's what we did, and it was just exciting to do that. But I picked up on myself that I was very good at it. I was good at dribbling. I was good at taking the ball, and I understood where to be, how to maneuver the ball, and it just went on from there. And I had this knack of being able to, even if it was against older people, still being able to find a solution. And that's what took me through all my younger years, really.
What was going through your mind? Because a lot of kids, then they would drop out, but your case was different because you started, it was fun, you were just playing around, but at some point, how did you come to the conclusion that, oh, I'm really good at this and I'm going to make a career out of it?
Well, it didn't happen until possibly around 15, to be honest with you. Up until then, it was just fun. Yes, it was hard, but it was fun. I was good at it. But at 15, I played in the under 18s. We were 1-0 down against Northampton at the cricket ground, playing against their youth team. After about 20, 30 minutes, they brought me on. And bear in mind, I'm a 15-year-old kid. I should still be at school, playing against 18-year-olds. And at 18, you can class yourselves as a grown adult. So I'm playing against 18-year-olds at 15. I came on, scored 2 goals, and we won the game 2-1. And that was the point where it clicked that this could actually, I've got something here, and I could go somewhere with this. At 16, I played my first team game, but it was a pre-season, so it's not classed as an official game. So at 16, I'm playing with the first team. I'm playing with grown men, and I'm doing okay. I'm holding my own. At 17, I made my proper debut, holding my own as well there. And at 18, I'm a regular. So everything just went so quickly. But it's a weird one to look back at it, because it seems like it was a path that was already made out there for me. But I knew that I was good enough to be on that path. And I never, ever, ever had any doubt from that 15 up until when I made it that I wasn't going to make it. There was no doubt. I even got an injury at 16. I got injured in a first team game at 16. I did my cartilage. I tore my cartilage in my knee. And I knew it took me 9 weeks to recover. But I knew after 9 weeks I'd be playing a few games with the youth team, and then I'd go back with the first team. I already knew that in my mind. So my mind had set everything out for me already.
What I picked out from your comment, because as a coach, I'm looking for the words people use, because we live through our words. So what you just said there was no doubt. Yeah, no doubt. That's very, very powerful, because anyone that is going to start anything or any endeavor, it could be business, it could be, career in athletics, career in football. If you have no doubt, that means you have total belief that you will succeed.
Yeah.
And that is what I teach, that is what I coach, that, people must believe for them to actually accomplish things. There is a book called The Magic of Believing. That book was written like almost maybe 70 years ago. They said Arnold Schwarzenegger said that book changed his life, because, he just believed anything he wanted to do, he would succeed at it. So he started attempting bigger things, and he was getting them, so his belief was growing. So I picked that out from what you were saying, that you didn't have any doubts that you were going to succeed as a footballer. So, all right, I think your career won so many things. You want to remind us how many medals you won, how many championship did you win?
Well, I won at Leicester. I won the League Cup twice. We went to 3 cup finals. And then after that, I moved to Liverpool, and this was obviously my most successful, was winning 2 League Cups, FA Cup, UEFA Cup, Super Cup, and 2 Community Shields. So that was obviously my most successful period, being at such a huge club as well. And even going there, a lot of pressure was on. When I look back, a lot of pressure was on me going there, because I went for a huge fee at that time. But I never actually felt that pressure until the outside world kept on putting that pressure and mounting that pressure. But I never actually felt the pressure. I just wanted to go out there and play, and I still went out there and played with a smile on my face and enjoyed it. And then there comes a time where you allow other people's influence and other people's minds to come into your own space and infiltrate it. Whereas before, I never thought about the price tag. I told myself, well, that's their problem. They dealt with that. They've agreed that. They're happy with it. Now it's time for me to go and do what I want to do. And I dealt with it quite well in a sense. But looking back, it was it was a lot of pressure to put on someone over the age of 22 as well.
Fantastic. Okay. All right. So I want to talk to you about my book,
Yeah.
Gold Mine of Your Mind. You read the book,
Yes.
and my question is, number one, how do you rate the book, and then number two, what are the insights you got from the book?
Well, I love the book. I obviously read through it. I actually ended up buying the audio book as well, so I could listen to it in the car. I enjoyed it in a sense that it made me really look back at my career and see how I got through my career so successfully, and the coaching methods that you use that I was using, but I didn't know that I was using. Because I was so immersed in my career that I didn't actually know that I was using a lot of these techniques that you're saying. But yeah, even just the littlest things of when you're trying so hard to look for something, you'll never find it. But if you go away, then relax, and then come back, it's there in front of you. And the amount of times that I've done that, and I think people are playing tricks on me. And now I use that technique quite a lot.
Yeah, many people find it very interesting. Yeah, and is what that says, to me is that actually what we're looking for is available, is all around us if we just relax our mind and take our time. We'll actually, whatever we're looking for, we'll be able to find it. That's really very interesting.
And as well, sorry,
any other insights you got from the book?
Yeah, as well, that we have the ability to open our mind and do whatever we want if we focus enough and go for it. A lot of the time we procrastinate. We think that we procrastinate. Huh?
The line is poor now. It's really poor. So maybe you take that again.
Yeah, I think at times we overthink things, and we should. We have the ability to do whatever we want if we put our mind to it. But within your coaching, you've taught me that certain things within your life or within your childhood has stopped you indefinitely from trying to do these things, whether it be negative feedback you've got, or you haven't really achieved it the way that you thought you should have achieved it, and it stopped you from doing it. It's put a mental block on you. There's always ways of getting over them hurdles and moving forward. We should never put a limit on what we could do.
No, never put a limit on what we're capable of doing. That's fantastic. I'm very proud to say, Emile, that I am your coach, not
Yes.
football coach, coach. So tell me a little bit about your experience. I'll say rate your experience with me on the scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah, I'd say as high as 8. At first, because we've never really, and this is a thing with football as well, we've never really explored. We do all this physical training every single day, sometimes 2 to 3 times a day, and we never really challenged the most important, and we never really trained the most important part of our being and our body, which is our mind. I think a lot of it is changing now, especially now where people are getting coaches and the clubs are getting people that can come in and help the mental side of the game. Because when you're talking sports and football, I would say what sets you apart is probably your mental side. Everyone's on a more or less of a even keel when it comes to fitness.
The line is. Hello, Emile.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I think you went off a little bit there when you were explaining about your experience of coaching with me. If you can take that again, it just went off. I couldn't hear it.
So yeah, I took a lot from that because what I was saying was when you're talking about football and sports, we train so hard. Everyone trains 2 to 3 times a day, so to get to that peak, that physical peak. But no one really trains their brain or their mind as much to get to that peak alongside the fitness of your body. I think a lot of football clubs are doing that more so now, but I think there's so much more that you can explore. When you're talking about football, I can talk about football. Generally, a lot of players are more or less along the same level when it comes to fitness. One might be a little bit down, but it's generally the same. So what's the next step you can take to make yourself that little bit better? Is training your mind and being mentally stronger than a lot of them. Who's the best at that sort of thing now? Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo is probably mentally the most driven and the most single-minded and the most focused footballer in the world.
Yeah.
And look where he is. Look where he is ahead of everyone else.
Yeah. You see, because I do study people, even athletes, footballers. When I studied Ronaldo, I found that, he's got some set of rituals that reprograms his mind for all the activities he's trying to do. It's actually in my book as well. When he takes free kicks, it's the same. He has he's got a ritual which he performs before taking that. That's why he's so successful. He has the same mindset every time he's taking that, and that mindset that that ball is going in. So there is mental aspects to performance. Actually, some journalists are saying the mental part of sports is like 80%. That the 20% is the physical aspect of it. So what advice do you have for younger players still developing and still growing? What advice do you have for them?
The advice I would have for them is when it comes to this sort of thing, don't be scared of actually coming outside, looking outside of the box when it comes to this sort of mental side of training. A lot of people shy away because they believe that it's not as powerful as it possibly is, and it's not as macho to have a coach that is helping with the mental side of football. But I would say think outside the box a little bit, because that the finer details and every little bit helps, because at the end of the day, we're all on the more or less the same fitness level, but it's who can train their mind to get through that 90 minutes to get to the end of the game and still take that free kick, to mentally still be prepared to put that extra run in that's gonna get you the goal or save you, make a save or whatever it is. Not everyone's going to be feeling great all the time, but you can train your mind to focus on certain things.
That's absolutely fantastic. Like tomorrow, I'm having a webinar where I'm teaching, experts on how to find, because most people are the wrong places, and they don't have the confidence to actually charge for what they do. So the bigger part of what I'm teaching at the webinar is called how to find high-paying clients and how to be able to charge the appropriate amount for the service. You know, most people feel they are not worthy to charge high fees, despite the fact that their services are really very good. I've encountered a lot of them. So if people are listening to this and they can't jump and register for that webinar tomorrow, that would be great. I always teach about people having a clearer vision of what they want to do in future. Because without vision, people perish, according to the Bible. So we work together a little bit on you know, the way you're looking at the future, what you're looking at. Do you want to share your experience? Are you clearer about what you want to achieve in future now as a result of our work together?
Yeah, definitely. I think as a kid, you always have your visions of playing football and stuff like that. So I was looking at the likes of John Barnes and people like that. I was saying I want to emulate them. But when it came to the end of my career, I did not really have a vision of who I wanted to be like. And because you're always looking at people to say you want to be like them or emulate them. You would have people in business that you looked up to, and you're saying that they're the pinnacle. But when it comes to football, when you come past the actual football pitch, there's not many people that I can look up to, especially when it comes to black people. So for me, the next step was looking at that, and within your course, it helped me in the sense that to look at where I could give substance to, and obviously I'm doing a UEFA course now actually that helps ex-players get back into football and strive to start their second career. So for me, it's getting back into football in the admin side of football, whether it be director, whether it be working in academy directorship, or working underneath that, working our way up. So that's the sort of background in what I want to get to eventually. This course gives me a little bit of an insight into how clubs are being run, what their structures are, not just football clubs, American basketball. We're looking at European basketball. We're looking at all sorts of different sporting institutes that I'm looking at how they run, what their marketing strategies, how do they look at their finance, how do they get their finance, how do they get their sponsorship, all that sort of aspects of things. And that's what this course is teaching me right now. And hopefully I'll be able to use that in the near future to help a football club.
Yeah, I'm really, I must say, I'm very proud of you, Emile, because anyone that is after knowledge, anyone who loves to learn, will always get ahead. But what distinguishes the average people and the really very good, excellent people is not just ability to learn, it's also ability to and willingness to change. Yeah. So
yeah,
what I noticed about you is you have the willingness to learn, and you also have the willingness to change. Yeah. That's my experience of you coaching with me, and that's a very powerful combination for anyone, not just footballers, anyone even in business. If you have there are a lot of learners out there. They go to all the seminars, they go to all the work, but they will never take any action. So they get zero, they get nothing. You know, their head is just full of knowledge, and that is so for it. So you showed the willingness to learn and the willingness to change, and I hope that the future is really very bright for you. And what I also want to say about you is your desire to help others, which every time we talk about it, you're even more determined to give back to the community, to do more work for the world, to help the people that aren't as fortunate. I really admire you for that. Is there any final word from you before we close?
Only thing is I would like to say is if anyone's out there looking for a coach, Ayo's there for you. Ayo, do you want to plug how they'd get in contact with you? How would people get in contact with you?
Oh, thank you very much, Emile, for recommending my company. Yeah, we are mbcconsult.com. You can also get me on Twitter, Ayo Benson 44. We're gonna show all of that, on the screen. And I'm also on Facebook as Ayo Benson 44. I'm on LinkedIn as Ayo Benson 44. I'm actually linked to Emile on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter as well. So yeah, so anyone who wants to change, if you want a better performance, want more productivity out of yourself, you want to get to the next level of success in your career or in your business, be in touch and we'll have a chat, with no obligation. We'll speak to you and see if we can help. If you're a good fit, then we'll speak about what is involved in working with me. Okay. Thank you very much, Emile. And, let me plug my book for the last time. Gold Mine of Your Mind is available on Amazon worldwide, and the audiobook is available on Audible and iTunes.com. That book has changed so many people's lives, so maybe yours is next. Thank you very much, Emile.
Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you for doing this, and I'll catch up with you later. God bless.
Okay. Thank you. Take care.